Delving into ancient Jewish texts and deciphering Hebrew's hidden meanings, Rabbi Daniel Lapin welcomes you to Tower of Power, Decoding the Secrets of Babel. Now, here is today's program.
Hi, I'm Rabbi Daniel Lapin. Together with my wife Susan, we run a ministry called the American Alliance of Jews and Christians, and we live near Seattle in the state of Washington. And our mission is to build bridges between Jews and Christians based on the solid foundation of our shared biblical heritage. And one of the things we realized was that many people have lost access to some of the deepest, most profound, and most effective secrets of ancient Jewish wisdom. These are things that many Christians understood and had access to in the 18th century and even in the 19th century, but somehow or another, much less so today. And we do our best to bring everything of ancient Jewish wisdom to you in a way that is accessible and entertaining and available wherever you are. And one of the things that always struck me as the best proof that the good Lord has the best sense of humor imaginable is that round about the time that the United States was being formed in North America, we're talking about the mid to late 18th century, 1700s, there was a guy in France, an intellectual called Voltaire. And this guy made the most astonishing pronouncement. He was a secularist. He hated the Bible. He hated religion. He hated God. In many ways, you could say that he was Nimrod's favorite intellectual. If Nimrod would have lived in the present time, which he does in kinds of ways we'll still talk about, he would have just loved Voltaire. And Voltaire was involved in the French Revolution, which was a time of just sheer terror, grew out of the distorted and twisted vision of Voltaire. But one of the things that Voltaire said, which was so interesting, was he made the prediction that within 100 years, the Bible would be extinct. Now remember that the Bible is so much at the very heart of our civilization that when the greatest invention of that period, when the printing press came about, invented by Johann Gutenberg in the middle 1400s, middle of the 15th century, what do you think Gutenberg decided to print? What was the very first thing, the only choice he could have made? Do you think it was the Vienna telephone directory? Do you think it was the Austrian national lottery tickets? No, it was the Bible. And he printed a small number of Gutenberg Bibles. One of them is in the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., but it had to be the Bible. The Bible has always been around since 3,300 years ago when God spoke to humanity through Moses on Mount Sinai. And Voltaire made the shocking announcement that the Bible would be extinct in 100 years. Out of print, nobody would pay any more attention to it. Don't you just love it when people make stupid predictions? Well, I don't know. Do we own a copy of Voltaire?
I'm afraid not.
I don't
and
think
we
do.
have thousands of books in our
We have thousands of books in our library.
Voltaire.
We don't have a... Do we miss it?
I haven't.
Do we have any need for it?
Nope.
No. We have a few Bibles, though, don't we?
More than a few.
And I think the same can be said for just about everybody. Certainly all of you listening and watching right now, I would be willing to bet that you've got a Bible, but you don't have a copy of Voltaire. Here's the best part of it, though. When Voltaire died and his house in Geneva was sold, guess who bought it? You won't believe it. Voltaire, the man who hated the Bible, the man who predicted the Bible was going to become extinct. You know who bought Voltaire's home? The Geneva Bible Society. From that house, hundreds of thousands of Bibles were printed and shipped around the world, continuing on to the present day. That is beautiful, isn't it? You can't go wrong. What a sense of humor.
And many of those made their way to America, of course, where colonial houses Everyone had a Bible.
Everyone had a Bible, that's
There
right.
was no such thing as not having a Bible in your house.
And one of the Bibles we do have is we have an Ainsworth Bible, which was put together by Reverend Ainsworth, who was a Protestant minister. And he wrote a Bible which is fascinating because the way the Ainsworth Bible, and they're very hard to get, very hard to get.
I'm glad you're saying that, because every time you mention it, I get emails saying, where can I get one?
People write to us at the ministry all the time saying, where can I get an Ainsworth Bible? I hereby officially state for the record, I don't know. Okay?
And it
don't
would cost
ask
an
me.
awful lot if
They're
you could
expensive.
find one.
Do not ask me about the Ainsworth Bible, other than I'm happy to tell you I have one. And you will find in the Ainsworth Bible, it has the text in English on the top half of the page. The bottom half of the page quotes all the great transmitters of ancient Jewish wisdom. And this was one of the Bibles that was most used in colonial times in New England. So we're thrilled to have that. And one of the most important parts, obviously, of any Bible that I think most of you would agree with is, of course,
The Ten Commandments.
of course, the Ten Commandments. And here's an important question. I don't know if this would make it as a Bible trivia question at all, but the question that we have to think about is, how often do you think it is called the Ten Commandments from the beginning of the 5 books of Moses to the end? In the book of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, search through there. How many times is it referred to as the Ten Commandments?